Hello and welcome to round 5 of the Invictus Racing League, Equal Performance F1 League here in Italy. Not been the best start to the season so far. First season on the wheel, coming from the controller, so just been getting used to things, learning the wheel really. Only been on it for a few months, so getting up to speed slowly. I think today's race was the most promising so far on the wheel. Not my favourite track, to be honest, if not one of my least favourites. Really struggled finding a setup around here. Only finalised my setup around an hour before the race, which isn't ideal. Didn't get much practice on it, but still pace felt pretty decent coming into it. As you can see, my first quali run was pretty decent. Actually pretty happy with this lap, but as you can see, coming into the final corner here, just very tentative, turning in too early. As you can see there, I have to turn out a bit and lose a good amount of time there, just not carrying enough speed in. As my teammate sets the fastest lap, we go second for the time being, but quickly drop down to 10th, as you can see, as we come to the end of our second run here. Nearly a tenth and a half up. Not the best Ascari, so losing quite a lot of time there. But still better than the last one, and we should gain quite a lot of time in the last corner here as we do get back up to 2/10 up here. Nice tight run to the line, and we move up to 7th. So we move on to our final lap in qualifying. Messed up the time actually, so final lap with 4 minutes to go. Taking a nice long run to the start line to carry as much speed as we can as we reach 212 miles an hour, 213, braking at the 100. Pretty clean turn 1, short shift to 4th to get the traction. Keep a nice tight line on the right hand side here to minimise the distance. Then braking just after the 100 here. Actually went a bit wide on the left hander there, but still a 10th up. Again a bit wide into the first Lesmo, and then nice clean second one. DRS open, sticking to the left here, and then slowly drift over to the right under the bridge. 10th and a half up on our last lap, throwing it into Ascari here. Pretty happy with that as we go to nearly 3/10 up on our last lap. We're sitting in P8, so 3/10 could get us quite a way up here. Not the best last corner as we lose maybe half a tenth there, but keeping it nice and tight to the line. We move up into P7, and as you can see, we finished qualifying in P7. Our teammate in P2, so decent starting position for us both. As we move on to the grid here, getting the tyres nice and warm. Been struggling with starts in the past few races, just with the less traction on the wheel, struggling getting used to that. So yeah, hoping for a good start. Lost my front wing at the past 2 races at turn 1, so looking to avoid damage, and just get on with a clean race.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
5 red lights come on now. The lights are out, and it's a decent initial launch. Actually happy with that compared to what we've had. You can see we're quite tentative into turn 1, just not wanting to risk losing the wing, and that just means we've already gone down into 9th, and then you can see down into 10th now. So from 7th to 10th, just in the first 2 corners, not good, but we've at least kept our front wing, which is what we're aiming for, and we can go on to have a good race from here. through the first chicane, all nice and clean. Just, we knew it was going to be a DRS train coming in, so it's just about settling in, minimising mistakes and staying with the cars ahead, because if you drop out of DRS around here, it's going to be pretty much impossible to overtake. Just with people sitting behind each other, everyone's going to be going the same speed, so pretty tentative on lap 1, just not wanting to make a mistake. It's so easy to spin out at Ascari especially, so just wanting to keep it clean around there, and then hopefully start picking people off later on in the race. Just going to the last corner here to finish lap 1. You can see J. Cole behind us is very close, and this is our first mistake of the race really. We go defensive here, and we don't really need to, and then we brake way too early, and you can see J. Cole just goes right around our outside, making a bit of contact there as we bump off the curb. J. Cole just goes right around our outside, so we've gone from 7th to we're in 12th now, but we're not letting Bando Biz round our outside, so from 7th to 11th in 2 laps, which isn't good, especially with how hard it is. This Bando nearly runs into the back of us there, especially with how hard it is to overtake in the DRS train. It's not the best start, just too tentative, not wanting to lose our front wing, and people capitalised on that. As we skip on to lap 6, you can see J. Cole getting past Scopefielder here, and this also meant that you can see how slow we had to take that first chicane just because of that overtaking. Now you can see J. Cole has dropped out of the DRS of, I think it's TTG Nathan in front of him, which means that it's going to be a real struggle for him to catch up, and that's going to be an issue for us for the rest of the race. So if we get into 9th, then it's going to be a big effort for us to catch up to anyone else. But you can see on the end of lap 6 here, Scopefielder makes a bit of a mistake. It's a snap of oversteer on the exit of the corner, and we capitalise on that. Scope doesn't fight it too hard, just lets us go and use quite a lot of overtake in Rich as well, and get past him, and you can see he lets his teammate Foxy past as well. So now we're behind J. Cole, and we're hoping that he can pull us up and catch Nathan. But as you can see here, Nathan, does that. So that's up 1 position into 9th as Nathan flips out of this race. And so virtual safety car deployed, and we can tell Jeff that we're boxing this lap, but I thought that my teammate was going to box, so I didn't actually box, and I should have done. That would have given, I think it would have been slightly quicker with where the VSC was anyway, but also the undercut. But that was me just not being aware, not noticing that my teammate hadn't pitted, and that I could have done. And you can see now we've got a 3-second time penalty as well, so not ideal, just a mistake from us. As J. Cole pits, and my teammates pits as well, so we have to go another lap, and Foxy gets past us here as well, so we just let him go because we want to be as quick as we can on this in lap, so that we hopefully stay in J. Cole's DRS, so that we can still push for 9th or 8th, whichever it is now. So it's not ideal. So lap 10 now, we decide to come into the pits, but it wasn't the best in lap, and the undercut's pretty powerful around here. You can see the Mercedes of Finn Marcus gets put out, so we lose more time in the pits, which just isn't ideal. And you can see on the mini-map the Red Bull of J. Cole already right beside us as he goes past us here as we exit. So massive undercut from J. Cole, and Scopefield actually comes past us now as well. And with hindsight, this lap I should have used all my ERS just to get past Scope as soon as I could, but We don't do that, we sit behind him. Well, he's a bit of our ERS now, but I should have pushed really hard to get past scope, because you can see here Foxy Red comes out the pits, and now that's 2 alphas in front of me, who obviously aren't going to make it too easy for me to overtake, so it's not ideal, and it's going to be tough to get in the points from here. You can see 100% ERS on lap 16, just been sitting behind scope, saving our ERS. He doesn't have the pace of Foxy, and I think I definitely have better pace than him as well, but he's just able to sit in that DRS and get pulled along. But we're on 100%, we've saved a lot, and I decided at this point, just over 10 laps to go, that it's time to put pressure on him, maybe force him into a mistake, force him to use his ERS, maybe even force him to overtake or go side by side with Foxy, because especially with my penalty I need to get on with getting past him and hopefully getting a 3-second gap as Burmeister pits, so he goes into 10th. You can see darting to the inside there, trying to appear on his radar, try and force him into a mistake, a lock up, just something, but we've still got a lot of ERS. I knew he didn't, because he was having to use, I could tell he was using some to keep up with Foxy, and you can see he was overtaking, get right up behind him, and I could tell he was using more there, so I'm just trying to get him to use as much as I can, so that hopefully at some point he runs out and I can just cruise past him with overtake on. Again, closing right up to the back of him here, getting as close as we can back on the overtake, already down to 60%, 50% after only 2 laps of trying to get past him. You can see his red lights flashing, so we know he's low on ERS now, as we dart to the inside again to try and force a mistake, but he keeps his calm, and as you can see, we make a mistake here. We lose the back end on the exit, and we use so much overtake getting back up to him, which we just didn't need to do. We had the pace to cruise back up to him, so we used about 20% of our energy there, which we just didn't need to use. So that's a mistake on my behalf, but you can see again we're putting a lot of pressure in, down to under 10% ERS now. Only 7 laps to go. We've got to get on with getting past him here, because otherwise we're just not. And you can see we've got 6 seconds time penalty now, so we've got to get past him, and we've got to pull a gap as quick as we can if we want points, but it's just so hard with him sitting behind Foxy to get past him. As you can see here, coming out of Ascari on lap 21, Burmeister on the fresh soft is now right up behind us, so we've got to push him as we go up his inside here. Finally got a run on him, up his inside, it gets very close, but he holds it around the outside, but this is the closest I've been. I know I've got more ERS than him. His red light starts flashing, but we're under 10% as well. But this is the closest we've been. We've got to go for a move here, otherwise we're never going to get past him, so brake nice and late, nail the braking point, small lock up, little bang of wheels, but get good traction back on the overtake, and we finally get past him. And now we've got to try and get past Foxy and pull a gap as quick as we can. Burmeister won't be a problem, he's got 9 seconds of penalties, but it's going to be a very tough ask with 5 laps to go to pull a 6-second gap to him, especially since we've still got to get past Foxy, and we've now got very little ERS left, which is a problem. I didn't have time to save my ERS sitting behind Foxy. I had to get on with overtaking him, but
We have 5 laps of fuel
I think
remaining.
Foxy had saved quite a lot of ERS. He seemed, every straight, he seemed to pull away quite a lot, so he clearly had saved quite a lot, which I just didn't have. As we get poor traction out of there, and you can see Burmeister on his fresh softs is getting good traction out of everywhere, so he's starting to put us under pressure now. You can see only 3/10 behind as we close right up to the back of Foxy, and we're trying to get past him, but he seems to have a lot of spare ERS that we just don't really have. to exit in the second Lesmo here. You see Burmeister right up behind us, and he goes for it here. He uses a lot of ERS, and I realise that I'm going to have to defend from him. And I think about going for the move on Foxy here, but decide it's not the best option, and just about hold it into Ascari. So that was a bit of a sketchy moment, because yeah, I'm just trying to, I know at this point I'm not pulling 6 seconds. I'm not getting points, but it's just for pride at this point in time. Just want to get the best result on track that I can. You see down to under 10% ERS again, and just not closing in on Foxley, darting to the inside, trying to make a mistake, but he keeps his cool. And yeah, so just not much we can do. Let's move on to the end of lap 24. Burmeister right behind us again, only 1/10 behind. This looks like an opportunity to overtake Foxy, but 3% ERS, we just aren't close enough. He's late on the brakes, and see Burmeister right behind us, so we can't afford a mistake, otherwise we'll lose the position to him. And Schofield is still right behind him as well, so as you can see, we're coming on to the final lap here. Still only 20% ERS, and you just need so much more to be able to overtake someone, especially when they've got a lot of ERS in reserve, which Foxy clearly does. As you can see, we're just not closing in at all. Just can't get anywhere near him. So that was that, really. You see right up behind him. So yeah, that was that. We're going to finish in P10 on track, but it's P11 after penalties applied, which isn't what I wanted after qualifying P7, but it's the most promising pace and the best race I've had so far on the wheels, so I can be happy with that. I can take positives from it, especially from qualifying. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.